Hello guys, bago tayo pumunta sa nitty-gritty or specifics ng forex trading, pag-usapan muna natin yung mga available markets na pwede natin i-trade as a retail trader. So financial market all over the world takes place either through a regulated centralized exchange or over the counter. So yung exchange-traded market, it operates via a centralized exchange katulad ng New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, and dito sa atin na Philippine Stock Exchange. So over-the-counter naman or OTC are decentralized markets that made up of network of different dealers who compete to link buyers and sellers. So ano ba yung mga pwede natin i-trade as a retail trader? So we have stock market, forex market, commodities market, and cryptocurrency market. So ito yung mga common. Now may other markets pa like bond, pwede nating i-trade yon, but ito yung pinaka common as a retail trader. So discuss natin to briefly one by one. Let's start with the stock market. So the equity or stock market is simply the marketplace where shares or stocks are traded. Shares are financial assets that provide evidence of ownership in a company. So kapag nagpa-participate tayo sa stock market trading, somehow nagiging part owner tayo nung company na tinitrade natin. Companies that are publicly listed like SM, Ayala, San Miguel are traded in stock exchange like Philippine Stock Exchange or PSE. Now, hindi lahat ng company pwede natin i-trade. So, ang matitrade lang natin yung mga companies na publicly listed sa Philippine Stock Exchange. So, basically, if the company is profitable and it expected to make profits in the future, the price of the share will rise. Kung hindi naman siya profitable and not expected to make future profits, its share value will fall. So, basically, ang nangyayari, for example, let's say yung per share ng isang companies nagpa-price siya at 10 pesos per share. Kapag bumili tayo niyan, let's say meron tayong 100 shares, right? So kapag tumaas yung value nito, let's say from 10 to 15, magpa-profit tayo. Kasi yung 100 shares natin tumaas ng value. Now kapag bumaba naman yan, say to 5 peso. Of course, yung 100 shares natin bababa din ng value. So from 10 to 5. So basically ganyan nagwo-work yung stock market. Now, yung isa pang market is yung forex market. Dito ako nagsimula and until now ito pa rin yung tinitrade ko after 11 years. So the foreign exchange or forex market is the financial market where currencies are traded or exchanged for one another. Now, somehow, nakapag-participate na rin tayo sa forex market. Let's say, for example, kapag nagta-travel tayo, let's say, gusto natin mag-travel sa Singapore. So, syempre, hindi naman natin pwedeng gamitin yung Philippine peso natin sa Singapore. So, we need to convert it from peso to Singaporean dollar. So, in that way, nakapag-participate na rin tayo sa forex market. It is the biggest market in the world with an average volume exceeding $5 trillion per day. So, ito yung pinakamalaking market. Bakit siya malaki? Katulad nung na-example ko kanina, no? So, tayo, kapag nag-travel tayo, nagpapapalit tayo ng pera, so somehow nakakadagdag na rin to dito sa volume ng forex market. It operates 24 hours a day, 5 times a week, from Mondays to Fridays. Bakit hindi siya open ng Saturday and Sunday? Kasi para makapag-trade tayo sa forex market, kailangan gumamit tayo ng broker. So, broker, mga company yan na doon tayo nagpapasok ng fund natin and ginagamit natin yung platform nila para makapag-trade tayo. So, since company sila, may weekend din sila. So, kaya sarado yung market ng weekends, ng Saturdays and Sundays. Forex market is an OTC, over-the-counter market used by individuals like us, financial institutions, government, and other agencies. So, ano yung mga example ng currency? So, yan, euro, pound, US dollar, and marami pang iba. But, hindi lahat ng currency sa mundo pwede natin i-trade. Okay? So, meron lang mga available na currencies ang pwede natin i-trade. Now, next is commodities market. Commodities market is the place where raw materials instead of manufactured goods are traded. So, under commodities, meron tayong different sectors. So, isa na doon yung agricultural. So, dito pwede natin i-trade yung corn, soybeans, cotton, sugar, and marami pang iba. Energy, ayan, mga crude oil, Brent oil, ethanol. And then we also have the metals. So, industrial metals like copper, lead, zinc, and yung precious metals na silver and gold. So, maraming retail traders ang nagtitrade din ng commodities, especially yung silver and gold. Now, lastly, we have the cryptocurrency market. Cryptocurrency is basically a digital money. Cryptocurrencies are designed to be secured and in many cases, anonymous. Now, yung Bitcoin, ito yung first decentralized cryptocurrency. Parang siya yung mother ng cryptocurrencies and created in 2009, shortly after the financial crisis. So, parang Forex din to na decentralized siya. Ito yung mga example ng cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. So, ito yung tatlong sikat na cryptocurrency. But, ngayon, 2024, sobrang dami ng cryptocurrency. I think every week nagkakaroon ng bagong coin, especially way back pandemic time, parang sunod-sunod yung mga bagong coins. So, very na siya, parang very common na tinitrade ng mga retail traders. So, ito yung mga commonly traded markets na pwede natin i-trade. So, we have the stock market, Forex market, commodities market, and cryptocurrency market. Now, hindi natin kailangan sabay-sabay i-trade to. So, I'd suggest kung nagsisimula ka pa lang, you focus sa isang market. Kasi ako, nag-start ako sa Forex market and then eventually, nung nagiging okay na ako, nagkakaroon ako ng consistency sa ginagawa ko and nagpa-profit na ako. That's the time na nagdagdag ako ng commodities and then may ilang crypto ako na tinitrade. So, paunti-unti, right? But kung nagsisimula ka pa lang, stick to one. Kasi kahit ano naman dito, pwede natin i-trade. Okay? And yung mga matututunan nyo dito sa course na to, applicable siya sa lahat ng market. Hindi lang yan sa Forex market. Okay? The best business model on earth. Now, bakit ba, sa opinion ko, ito yung best business model on earth, ang online trading. Now, bago tayo pumunta kung bakit the best to, for me, firstly, you have to understand that the success rate is low. Very low. Marami ang nag-fail sa online trading. And if that scares you, hindi ka pwedeng mag-trade. Okay? So, like any other business, for you to succeed dito sa trading, it will take some time, it will take hard work. So, hindi siya madali. Mahirap siya. Right? Kasi yung potential for profit natin dito, sobrang laki. Walang limitations. So, kung ganun yung potential natin sa trading, of course, we can expect na hindi siya magiging madali. Hindi siya yung simple na pagka umangat, bibili na tayo, pag bumababa, magsasell na tayo. Hindi siya ganun kadali. Now, secondly, pwede kang magsimula with as little as 50,000 pesos. That means hindi mo kailangan i-sacrifice ang life savings mo. Now, itong 50,000 actually medyo malaki na to. Pero ito kasi yung ideal starting capital kung gusto mo talagang maging maayos yung journey mo as a retail trader. But right now, may mga brokers na nag-offer na as little as $50. So, that's around 2,500 pesos kung 50 yung palitan. So, pwede ngayong mag-open ng ganun kalit. But again, ideally, nasa 50,000 pesos. Expenses are minimal. Actually, ano ba yung mga expenses natin dito? So, few thousand pesos for education. So, nag-enroll ka dito sa education na to. Laptop or desktop, that pretty much, I know, meron na kayo. Right? I think lahat naman na tayo ngayon, may mga ganito. And of course, internet connection. So, ito, mga given na to, meron na tayo na to, even if hindi pa tayo nagsisimulang mag-trade, right? Your starting capital actually isn't even an expense. It is your savings stored in a different account. Now, kung i-compare natin to sa traditional business, kapag magsisimula tayo, yung capital natin, more like expenses siya. Right? Kasi, let's say, for example, kailangan natin mag-rent ng location or bumili ng product. So, somehow, nagiging expenses siya. But sa trading, yung let's say, for example, yung 50,000 na i-fund mo sa account mo, hindi siya actually expense. Right? Kasi anytime, pwede mong withdrawin yun. Pwede mong kuhain ulit. Very liquid niya na anytime, pwede mo siyang i-withdraw. Okay? Now, why trade Forex? Bakit specifically the Forex market? So, wala tayong staff dito. Hindi rin natin kailangan ng location. So, katulad ko, itong picture na to was way back, I think 2018, nung nasa Taiwan ako. So, nakakapag-work ako, nakakapag-trade ako kahit nagta-travel. No rent. So, again, walang location. Wala tayong products na kailangan bilhin or hanapin. And every dollar you make is purely liquid. Ibig sabihin, anytime pwede mo siyang ma-withdraw. Hindi ka na maghihintay ng 15th of the month or yung end of the month para makuha mo yung pera na kinita mo sa forex trading. Every dollar you make in trading is semi-passive. So, bakit siya semi-passive, hindi siya passive? Kasi of course, kailangan natin ng exposure din dito. So, every day, like ako, nag-analyze ako ng market. So, parang may pa rin, may legwork pa rin ako na ginagawa. But, very minimal. Now, kapag meron na akong trade, doon na siya somehow nagiging passive. Kasi, minomonitor ko na lang siya. Hindi ko na siya ginagalaw. Kaya siya nagiging semi-passive. So, yung work, ginagawa natin yan kapag nag-analyze tayo ng market, and we'll touch into this later on, right? This business is very scalable, so anytime pwede mo siyang palakin, like mag-deposit ka lang ng malaking account, ng malaking fund, right? Pwede na rin lumaki yung potential income mo. Unlike traditional business, ang dami pang considerations, right? So, online trading is an extremely powerful business model. And ang pinaka nagustuhan ko kasi dito, yung flexibility. Now, don't get me wrong, nagsimula ako na parang sa karamihan sa atin na gusto talaga yung pera kasi nung time na na-introduce sa akin yung forex trading, naalala ko, naka-attend ako ng webinar na sabi, pwede kang kumita online gamit mo lang yung laptop. And dun ko nakilala yung forex market. So, syempre, yung mind ko nun, parang nakafocus lang sa pera kasi at that time, ang pinapakita nila yung mga profit ng mga legendary traders. So, akala ko sobrang dali lang. But on top of the money kasi na makukuha natin sa trading, actually, parang na lang yan secondary na lang yung money. Ang pinaka nagustuhan ko dito is yung flexibility kasi once na alam mo na yung ginagawa mo, you already have the skill, the discipline to trade, anytime, anywhere, pwede mo siyang gawin. So, very flexible, right? Kung may full-time job ka, hindi mo naman kailangan mag-resign para mag-trade. Kung may business ka na ginagawa, pwede mo ring isabay yung trading. It will not take a lot of time kapag alam nyo na yung ginagawa nyo sa trading, right? But, sabi nga nila, every rose has its thorn. So, the profit potential is huge, pero you have to remember na yung success rate mababa. So again, maraming nagfe-fail sa trading. So ngayon pa lang, kung nagsisimula ka, make sure na gagawin mo siya ng tama. Okay? Para hindi na po-prolong yung learning process natin. Okay? Guys, I've been trading for 11 years. Sobrang tagal. It took me 5 years para maging consistent talaga. And it took a lot of hard work, a lot of heartache, right? But nung nalagpasan ko yung mga challenges na yon, sobrang parang hindi naman sa madali, but this is something na 100% sure ako na magagawa ko na siya for a very, very, very long time. Yun nga lang, kailangan talaga pagdaanan natin yung mga challenges, right? And hindi naman kailangan na katulad ko 5 years. 5 years bago kayo maging profitable. Madami ng resources ngayon, and before kasi wala akong mga in-enrollan na course, so more on trial and error lang. Now dito sa course na to, yung buong method ko sinishare ko na sa inyo. Now it doesn't guarantee na magkikita kayo agad ng malaki after yung mapag-aralan tong course na to. Hindi siya ganun. Course is just a course, right? But it will be very helpful once na napag-aralan nyo na lahat ng mga ituturo ko sa inyo dito sa course na to. Okay? So, again, embrace nyo na magiging challenging, but it will be worth it. Okay? The Forex market. So, Forex refers to global decentralized over-the-counter or OTC marketplace where banks, institutions, and speculators like us, retail traders, trade or exchange various national currencies. So it is also the largest and most liquid market on the planet and is traded around the world in every time zone 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now, kung papansin niyo, open siya 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Parang ang unang isipin natin dito, sobrang okay na kasi anytime pwede tayong mag-trade. Like, pag nagta-travel tayo, nasa commute, or kung hindi tayo makatulog, pwede tayong mag-trade kasi open siya. But guys, you have to remember na hindi porket 24 hours a day siya, okay siyang i-trade all throughout the day. Okay? May mga certain times lang na okay siyang i-trade, and then may mga certain times na hindi siya okay na i-trade kasi yung ibang central exchange sarado. Okay, mamaya di-discuss natin yan. It is usually called as FX market, foreign exchange market, foreign currency market, or currency market. So ito yung mga nicknames lang ng forex trading. Unlike stock market, there is no central exchange. So tayo dito sa Pilipinas, meron tayong Philippine Stock Exchange na pwede natin mapuntahan sa BGC, right? Andun na yung Philippine Stock Exchange. Ang Forex, since decentralized siya, wala siyang ganito. Okay? It is the largest free market in the world. So, bakit siya free market? Kasi anyone can participate sa Forex trading. So, hindi niya i-require na kailangan graduate tayo. Hindi niya i-require na ganito yung net worth natin. So, basta may pang-open kayo ng account, may pang-deposit kayo, pwede kayong mag-trade sa Forex market. And that is why it provides opportunities for people like us. Okay? So, yan yung in a nutshell ng kung ano ba yung Forex market. So, sa next video, pag-usapan natin quickly yung mga primary Forex players. Primary Forex players. So, sino-sino ba yung nagpa-participate dito sa Forex trading? So, first, we have the banks. So, international banks, investment banks, and of course, yung central banks. Kasi sila yung may control sa interest rate. So, malaki rin yung epekto niyan sa market. Institutions. So, financial institutions, mga international businesses, like, let's say, for example, yung Apple, right? So, yung product nila, like yung mga phone nila, karamihan ng mga materials nila nanggagaling sa China, and yung mga workers nila nasa China rin kasi dun mura, right? So, hindi naman nila pwedeng bayaran ng US dollar yung mga Chinese workers. So, kailangan nilang bayaran ng Chinese yuan. So, ang gagawin nila, i-convert nila yung US dollar to Chinese yuan. Okay? Speculators, so fund managers, long-term FX speculators, and of course tayo, mga retail traders. So, malaking part din tayo sa forex market. So, ito yung mga primary forex players. So, what is traded in the forex market? Of course, ang tinitrade natin dito, currencies. Each currency has a 3-letter ISO code. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na ISO 4217. So, ito yung example. US dollar. So, yung 3-letter ISO code niya is USD. For Euro, EUR. And for Japanese yen, JPY. So, the first 2 letter stands for the country name. So, in this example, US dollar, so USD. So, yung first 2 letter is United States. And the 3rd letter is the currency name. So, dollar. Okay? Currencies are always quoted in pairs. So, pag nagde-trade na kayo ng forex market, ganito yung makikita nyo. So, Euro USD, USD JPY, GBP USD. So, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-trade ng euro lang. Okay? Kailangan meron siyang counter currency kasi nag-exchange tayo from one currency to another. So, every buy has a sell and every sell has a buy. So, if you are buying Euro USD, okay, Euro USD mismo, you are buying Euro and simultaneously selling US dollar. Okay? So, kapag nag-buy tayo ng Euro / USD, so, let's say, bibili natin to as a whole, hindi lang siya basta euro. So, ang ginagawa natin dito, binibili natin yung euro and then binibenta natin yung USD. Okay? Kapag sinel naman natin tong euro USD, okay, kapag sinel, that means, so, binibenta natin yung euro and then bumibili tayo ng US dollar. Okay? So, always remember, every buy has a sell and every sell has a buy. Okay? Let's talk about base and quote currency. So, the base currency is always equal to 1 and yung base currency natin laging nasa left side yan. And then yung quote currency natin, ito yung nagpa-fluctuate and siya yung laging nasa right. Okay? So, let's say Euro USD. So, ito yung base currency natin. Okay? Siya yung nasa left. And then yung quote currency natin, in this case, yung USD, ito yung nasa right. So, remember, yung base currency natin always equal to 1. And then yung quote currency natin, ito yung nagfa-fluctuate. So, for example, okay, pwedeng ganito yung pricing ng Euro USD. So, 1 euro is equivalent to 1.1900. Okay? Now, after few minutes or few seconds, pwedeng magbago yan. Again, 1 euro pa rin kasi yun yung base currency natin. And then yung USD, pwede siyang maging 1.1920 dollar. So, ito yung nagfa-fluctuate. Another example, USD JPY. So, again, ito yung base currency natin, yung USD. Quote currency natin, yung JPY. So, pwedeng $1. Okay? So, ito yung laging equal to 1. Equivalent siya to 136.20 Japanese yen. After a few seconds, naging 136.25 yen. And after a few seconds ulit, pwede ulit magbago yung Japanese yen, 136.23. Pero again, yung yung base currency natin na USD laging equal to 1 yan. Another one, GBP USD. So, base currency natin, GBP. USD yung quote currency natin. Okay? So, 1 pound or 1 British pound is equivalent to 1.2100 US dollar. After few minutes, pwedeng magbago yan to 1.2100, then pwede rin maging 1.2125 kasi nga nagfa-fluctuate siya. Okay? So always remember, yung base currency nasa left, siya yung laging equal to 1, and then yung quote currency laging nasa right, siya yung nagfa-fluctuate. Bid and ask price. So, bid is the price at which you sell, and yung ask price naman is the price at which you buy. Now, yung bid natin, ito yung laging nasa left, and yung ask price, ito yung laging nasa right. So, for example, Euro USD, sa trading platform nyo, ganito yung makikita nyo. So, 1.1911/1.1913. So, yung bid natin, yung nasa left. So, dito tayo sa price na to, nagsisell. So, kung gusto natin mag-open ng sell position or sell trade sa Euro USD, ito yung makikita natin. And then, yung ask price naman, ito yung nasa right. Ito yung price kung saan tayo bumibili or nag-open ng buy trade. In this case, 1.1913. You have to remember na nagbabago to every second. Okay? So, nagpa-fluctuate yung pricing na yan. So, sa trading platform nyo, ganito yung makikita nyo. Okay? So, ito yung tinatawag na market watch. So, ito yung symbol. Let's say Euro USD. So, yan, my bid and my ask price. Okay? Dito sa video na to, pag-usapan naman natin yung mga currencies or currency pairs na pwede natin i-trade. So, hahatiin ko to sa tatlo. So, meron tayong majors, minors, and exotics. So, sa majors, bibigyan ko to ng 3 stars. So, malalaman nyo mamaya kung bakit. Minors, 2 stars. And then, yung exotics, 1 star. So, discuss natin to one by one. Major currency pairs containing the US dollar. So, meron tayong 7 major currency pairs. So, first, we have Euro USD. So, Euro versus the US dollar. GBP USD, British Pound versus the US dollar. AUD USD, Australian dollar versus the US dollar. NZD USD, New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar. USD JPY, US dollar versus the Japanese yen, USD CAD, US dollar versus Canadian dollar, and then lastly we have USD Swiss, US dollar versus Swiss franc. So kung mapapansin nyo, itong say 7 major currency pairs na to, lahat sila may US dollar. Bakit lahat sila may US dollar? Kasi until today, hanggang ngayon, US dollar pa rin yung pinaka-powerful currency sa planet Earth. Okay? And majority ng mga retail traders, ito yung tinitrade. Why? Kasi may huge liquidity. So, ibig sabihin yung volume niya malaki. And mas maganda yung flow nito. And then, yung pinaka-reason kung bakit okay i-trade yung major currency pairs kasi mababa yung spread. So, yung spread, ito yung fee na binabayaran natin kapag nag-open tayo ng trade. I-discuss natin to sa broker section. Okay? So, that's major currency pairs. And then, punta tayo sa minor currency pairs. Currency pairs not containing the US dollar. So, ito siya. We have 21 or 22 minor currency pairs. So, pwede nyo siyang i-screenshot if you want. Hindi ko na siya iisa-isahin. So, minor currency yan. So, kung papansinin nyo yung mga majors natin, major currency, lahat yan parang minix-mix lang dito sa minor currency pairs except for the US dollar. So, minor or cross-currency pairs. So, minsan tinatawag din natin itong cross-currency pairs. May bigger spread or bigger fee than the majors. So, ako ginagawa ko kapag wala akong makitang trade sa majors, minsan pumupunta ako sa minor currency pairs. And ito yung pinakaiiwasan nyo, exotic currency pairs. Currency pairs made up of one major currency and one emerging currency. So, ito yung mga example niyan. Euro versus the Turkish lira, US dollar versus Hong Kong dollar, US dollar versus the Norwegian krone, Australian dollar versus Singaporean dollar, British pound versus the South African rand, and then Australian dollar versus the Mexican peso. So, marami pang ibang exotic currency pairs. Pwede nyong i-google yan. So, ito mga examples lang to. So, bakit ko sinabing kailangan natin iwasan tong exotic currency pairs? Kasi sobrang laki ng spread niya. Okay, sobrang laki ng fee. Hindi worth it na i-trade to. But may mga ibang retail traders na tinitrade naman yung exotic currency pairs. Pero I think kung nagsisimula pa lang kayo, hindi nyo kailangan i-trade to. Okay? Now, the big question is, which pair should you trade? So, mag-focus kayo sa majors and minors. Primarily sa majors, dun sa 7 major currency pairs natin, kasi mas mababa yung spread niya. So, lower spread and mas madaling humanap ng trades. Okay? So, priority natin majors, and then kung wala sa majors, secondary na lang yung minors. Alright? What do we do in trading forex? So, meron tayong trading linggo. Meron tayong tinatawag na long. So, pag sinabing long, that means buy. And then kapag sinabing short, that means sell. So, lagi nyong maririnig yan dito sa trading community. Now, example ng kung anong ginagawa natin as a trader. So, by going long on, let's say, for example, GBP USD, you are trading with the expectation that the value of GBP will rise against the value of US dollar. So, kapag nag-long tayo sa GBP USD, that means na-expect natin yung chart niya aangat. Okay? Aangat yung aangat yung value niya against the US dollar. Now, by going short naman on GBP USD, you are trading with the expectation that the value of GBP will fall against the value of US dollar. So, sa chart natin, kapag nag-short tayo, ang expectation natin sa GBP USD, bababa siya. Okay? So, remember na every buy has a sell and every sell has a buy. So, kung nag-buy tayo sa GBP, simultaneously, binibenta natin yung US dollar natin. Okay? So, again, long for buy, short for sell. What is a pip? Currencies are always quoted in pips. Pip meaning percentage in points. Now, pip, ito yung smallest price move a currency can make. Now, most currency pairs are quoted with 4 decimals. Yung pip count natin, magi-start siya at the 4th decimal. So, for example, Euro-USD, nagtitrade siya at 1.1905. And then, after few minutes, naging 1.1910 siya. So, ibig sabihin, nag-move siya ng 5 pips. Another example, GBP-USD. Let's say, nagtitrade siya at 1.2130. And then, nag-move siya after few hours to 1.2105. That means, nag-move siya ng 25 pips. Now, mapapansin nyo sa trading platform nyo na minsan merong fifth decimal. So, ito yung tinatawag na fraction of a pip. Now, medyo few years ago lang siya nadagdag. Hindi natin kailangan yun. So, kung meron kayong nakita na hanggang fifth decimal, yung fifth decimal, lagi nyong huwag nyong pansinin. Okay? Basta huwag nyong pansinin yung fifth decimal. Lagi tayong mag-start sa fourth decimal. Now, meron tayong exemption. Ito yung Japanese yen. So, the JPY. So, it is always quoted with 2 decimals. So, example, USD JPY, ganito yung makikita nyo, 108.10. So, 2 decimals lang siya. The reason is because it takes too much yen to equal the typical currency. Ang key lang dito, just know that any JPY pairs will be quoted with 2 decimals. Hindi lang siya sa USD JPY. Of course, meron din tayong mga GBP JPY, ganyan, laging 2 decimals. Now, if you see JPY quoted with 3 decimals, so the pip count will start at the second decimal. Kasi yung third decimal, ito yung fraction of a pip natin. So, parang dun sa normal currency pair na 5 yung makikita natin. So, yung fifth decimal, yun yung fraction of a pip. Now, sa case ng Japanese yen, yung fraction of a pip natin, yung third decimal. So, i-disregard lang natin yan. Okay? So, example, USD JPY, 108.10, nagtitrade right now. Then, after few minutes, naging 108.30 siya. So, that means nag-move siya ng 20 pips. Let's talk about lot size. So, Forex is traded in specific amount called lot. So, meron tayo dito nga lot, base currency, dollar per pip, and position size. So, ano ba tong mga to? Now, yung lot natin, meron tayong tatlong category dyan. So, standard, mini, and micro. So, yung base currency niyan, okay? So, for standard, 100,000. For mini, 10,000. For micro, 1,000. So, yung lot size, ito yung tinatawag natin position size na nilalagay natin kapag nagtitrade tayo. So, ito yung volume. Gaano ba kalaki yung trade natin? Now, may equivalent lagi yan na dollar kada nagmo-move yung price. Okay? Kada pip na galaw niya. Now, for standard, okay, yung 100,000 na base currency, ang equivalent niyan is $10 per pip. Okay? Yung mini, 10,000 base currency, ang equivalent niyan is $1 per pip. Micro, 1,000 base currency, ang equivalent niyan is 10 cents per pip. Okay? Now, yung position size, so ito yung nilalagay natin sa trading platform natin. So, for standard, 1.0. For mini, 0.10. For micro, 0.01. Now, dito natin siya nilalagay. So, sa trading platform nyo, itong makikita nyo, so may sell, and then may buy. Ito yung bid and ask. And then dito sa gitna, makikita nyo, merong 1.00. So, yan yung lot size. So, dyan natin nilalagay yan. So, in this case, one standard lot. Okay, so yan. Ito yung nilagay. Now, pwede rin natin itong baguhin to 2.0. So, that means 2 lots. So, kada pip na galaw niya is 20. Now, kapag ang nilagay naman natin dito is 2.5. Okay, 2.5 lots. That means ang move niya is 25 pip per $25 per pip kasi dalawang standard lot, okay, which is $10 per pip, and then 0.5, so 5 mini lot. So that's $5. Okay? So dito natin siya nilalagay. Now, for example, nag-long tayo sa Euro USD with one standard lot at 1.0906. So, nag-long tayo. So, dito, bibili tayo. Click natin, bago natin i-click yung buy, lalagay muna natin dito 1.00. Then, click buy. And then, nag-exit tayo at 1.0916. So, that means yung profit natin in pips is 10 kasi from 0.6 to 16, nag-move siya ng 10 pips. Now, yung profit natin in dollar, so 10 pips multiplied by $10. Bakit $10? Kasi one standard lot yung inopen natin. And yung one standard lot, $10 per pip siya. Okay? So, multiply lang natin yan. 10 pips times $10. So, yung profit natin dito is $100. Okay? Now, another one. Nag-long tayo sa Euro USD, pero ang gamit naman natin this time is 2 mini lot. So, ganun pa rin. Long tayo at 1.0906. So, 1.0906. Lalagay natin dito sa gitna. Instead of 1, gagawin natin 2 mini lot, which is dalawang ganito. So, that's 0.2. Then, click buy. Then, nag-exit tayo at 1.0916. So, ang profit pa rin natin in pips is 10. And then, in terms of dollar, okay, so 10 pips multiplied by $2 kasi 2 mini lot yung tinrade natin. So, yung total profit natin is $20. Okay? Pag-usapan naman natin ang leverage. So, leverage is the ability to use something small to control something big. So, you can have a small amount of capital in your account controlling a large amount in the market. So, basically, yung leverage multiplier siya. So, for example, sa broker natin, ang pinili natin na account is yung may 1:100 na leverage. Okay? So, kapag unleverage yung account natin, kapag mag-open tayo ng one standard lot, kailangan natin ng 100,000. Okay? 100,000 ng base currency. Okay? Pero since meron tayong leverage na 1:100, namumultiply yung trading capability natin to 100. So, instead of having 100,000 para makapag-open ng one standard lot, which is, as you can remember, $10 per pip. Okay? Ang kailangan na lang natin is $1,000. So, hindi na natin kailangan ng 100,000 kasi may multiplier tayo. Now, kapag nakaset naman yung leverage natin sa 1:50, okay, para makapag-open tayo sa unleverage account, kailangan natin ng 100,000, but since meron tayong multiplier na 50, ang kailangan na lang natin para makapag-open ng one lot is 2,000. And yung leverage, it varies from broker to broker kasi may mga brokers na very strict sila when it comes to leverage. So, ang ino-offer lang nila 1:25. May iba naman na broker, nag-offer sila ng up to 1:1,000 leverage. So, I think medyo risky na to pagdating dito. Ideally, 1:1, 1:50, 1:100, 1:25, okay na yan. Hindi naman tayo sobra magpe-pay attention dito kasi gagamit tayo ng risk management. Now, you have to remember, 90% of new retail traders lose 90% of their money in the first 90 days. So, ito yung parang 90-90-90 rule. For the master trader who effectively manages his greed, leverage is a powerful tool. But for the emotional trader who tries to get rich quick, leverage is but a fatal attraction. So, yung leverage, guys, double-edged sword siya. So, minumultiply niya yung profit potential natin, but at the same time, pwede rin tayong matalo ng malaki. So, imumultiply din niya yung mga potential losses natin. So, you really have to be careful kapag gumagamit tayo ng leverage. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So, yung leverage, parang power natin yan. So, we have to take great responsibility with using leverage. Okay? Let's talk about Forex trading hours. So, remember, 24 hours open yung Forex market, but it doesn't mean na kailangan natin siyang i-trade all throughout the day. So, meron tayong different financial centers sa Forex. So, we have Sydney. Ito ang mga active na currencies dito. Aussie, NZD, so New Zealand dollar, and Japanese yen. So, yung oras nito, Philippine time. So, that's from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then, after that, mag-open yung Tokyo. So, Sydney yung first na nag-open. Then, susunod yung Tokyo. So, yung mga active na currencies dito, JPY, Hong Kong dollar, Chinese yuan. So, nag-open naman to ng 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Philippine time. And then, bandang hapon, mag-open yung London, which is isa sa pinakamalaking financial center sa mundo. So, yung mga active na currencies dito, Euro, GBP, Swiss franc. So, nag-open to 3 p.m. to midnight. Okay? 3 p.m. to 12. And then, bandang gabi, mag-open naman yung New York market. So, yung mga active dito, USD, Canadian dollar, Mexican peso, So, magsisimula yan ng 8 p.m. up until 5 a.m. and then magre-reset ulit kapag close ng New York market, mag-open ulit yung Sydney. Okay? Now, itong Sydney and Tokyo, ito yung tinatawag natin na Asian session. As much as possible, i-avoid nyo mag-trade sa Asian session. Okay? Bakit? Kasi yung volume niyan medyo maliit and and since maliit yung volume niya, kumbaga hindi ganun karami yung traders or trade na pumapasok sa market, malaki yung spread. So malaki yung binabayaran natin na fee and hindi gaano gumagalaw yung market at this time. Now, kapag dumating yung 3 p.m., mag-open yung London, dito medyo okay na mag-trade. Okay, kasi malaking financial center yung London, so yung volume pumapasok na sa market. Pero yung the best time to trade is kapag nag-overlap yung London and New York, meaning sabay silang naka-open. So anong oras yan? That's 8 p.m. to midnight. Okay? So 8 p.m. to midnight. So merong 4 hours na nag-overlap sila. And dito tayo nakakakuha ng mga magagandang trades and very tight yung spread. So, ang liit lang na fee ang binabayaran natin. So, again, hindi porket 24 hours open yung forex market, kahit anong oras na tayo magta-trade. So, may mga optimal time lang. So, the best time is pag nag-start yung London market hanggang mag-end yung London market. Okay? Asian session, try nyong iwasan. Okay? Try nyong iwasan. And not unless iti-trade nyo yung mga currency pairs na may Aussie Yen and Kiwi. So, let's say for example, Aussie JPY, Aussie NZD, yung mga ganyan. Pero again, i-avoid nyo na lang. Alright?